Well, let's check out what Israel's doing this week out there in the Middle East in the Greater Israel Project, which most people in America have no idea about. So first, right now, because Lebanon is in the Greater Israel Project, Israel's bulldozers are wiping out civilian homes, tourist estates, and hotels in South Lebanon, not military targets. South Lebanon is being erased, like Gaza right before it. So in Lebanon right now, that little piece of land that they're wanting to get for this project right here, just in hundreds of thousands, not just thousands, hundreds of thousands of Lebanese civilians are fleeing to northern Lebanon near Syrian borders after continued Israeli airstrikes and combat with Hezbollah. Israel terrorism is rapidly growing in the region. And then here's a Google map of Lebanon. Watch how sad this is. Now let's go over and see what's happening to the people in Gaza still. Disturbing Israeli footage of 60 Palestinians being inhumanely crammed and transported into Israeli custody using a waste disposal rubbish truck. A dump truck is where they're putting these people right now. So this is what a Saudi foreign minister says, quote, "The era of relying on the U.S. has ended. How can Trump protect us when he can't even protect his own country?" They all see that Benjamin Netanyahu controls Trump. Here is Italy's prime minister says, "In view of the current situation, the government has decided to suspend the automatic renewal of the defense agreement with Israel." In other words, Italy cancels their defense agreement with Israel. And so now here's the president of Turkey. But why is Turkey getting involved in this? Oh, because up here on the Greater Israel Project, Turkey is part of. He says the war in Gaza is genocide and Benjamin Netanyahu will be arrested.
That are hotspots. Another big one, obviously, is what's happening in Gaza. Would you consider what's going on in Gaza genocide?
Başka türlü bunun izahı mümkün değil.
I don't think we can explain it in any other way.
Bu dört dörtlük bir
This is
soykırımdır.
completely a genocide.
Ve bu soykırımın
And this
faili de
genocide is caused by Netanyahu.
Netanyahu çok acımasız
Netanyahu
şekilde
mercilessly
on binleri ne yazık ki
has
bu
unfortunately
soykırımla
killed tens of thousands with this
bunun
genocide.
dışında
Now the next two stories in Gaza, viewer discretion is advised. If you're sensitive at all, I wouldn't continue to watch this. This is a reporter out of Gaza.
Well, I am standing in Shuhada Al-Aqsa Hospital, which is located in Deir al-Balah in southern Gaza. And this is where basically the Israeli military asked Gazans to evacuate. And what we are witnessing right now is whole families, children, women arriving to the hospitals. The Israeli warplanes attacked, airstriked a home that belonged to Abu Jbara family located in Deir al-Balah in southern Gaza. We saw whole families. I myself saw children, at least 10 children under the age of 5 with their heads cut off, their bodies. If you can see around me, we can still see the ambulances arriving to the Shuhada Al-Aqsa Hospital, mostly women, mostly children. I mean, this is undescribable. This is like a massacre.
So again, viewer discretion is advised. Anna Kasparian just read the most damning report on Israel's prisons. Sexual torture is organized state policy endorsed by the highest authorities. Women are raped for days. Men are raped by dogs. Fire extinguisher nozzles are inserted into bodies.
A scathing report by Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Monitor finds evidence of sexual torture of Palestinian detainees, and they find that it's organized state policy endorsed by the highest political, military, and judicial authorities in Israel. Here's a headline about it. Middle East Eye reported on the report saying, "I wished for death. Sexual violence in Israel's prisons is an organized state policy." I want to give you a few of the highlights in the report. So it relies on testimony from former detainees, Palestinian detainees. One former detainee, a 42-year-old woman from North Gaza who was held in the notorious Sid Timan Detention Center, said she was bound naked to a metal table and repeatedly raped by 2 masked soldiers over the course of 2 days. She recalled that she was left shackled, naked, and bleeding throughout the night before the soldiers returned the next day to continue raping her. She said the entire ordeal was recorded, filmed. Amir, a 35-year-old Palestinian man who was also held at the same facility, recounted how soldiers forced him to strip naked before their dogs urinated on him and raped him. He described how the dog penetrated my anus in a trained manner while I was being beaten. And he says that this continued for several minutes. I felt profoundly humiliated and violated. And guess what? Other men described very similar instances of rape and sexual abuse carried out with the use of canines. Khalid, an attorney with the Commission of Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs, described how a soldier at the same facility inserted a fire extinguisher nozzle into a Palestinian prisoner's anus and then discharged its contents into his body, resulting in severe internal injuries and intense pain. I don't know, Cenk, should I continue with the fair and balanced reporting? Because we haven't been getting balanced reporting in the United States as it pertains to the war crimes, atrocities, and genocide carried out by the Israelis. So war crimes are ugly. This behavior by the Israelis, real ugly, real ugly. And it's about time that someone actually point a mirror to them so they can get a good hard look at what they look like.
A quick question for America. Do you not think that we are going to look exactly like Gaza looks, exactly like Lebanon looks, exactly like they want the entire Middle East to look? If we do not stop this immediately, wake up, America. Wake up.